Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be the wife of a 3% man shares what she loves about him. So today we're going to talk about a woman who's been with her man for many years now, and he's been a great avid student of 3% man. This is probably, I don't know, second, third, or maybe fourth email that I've discussed to theirs over the years in different video newsletters. And it's great to have somebody in Europe, this particular couple, I believe they're in Germany, that they both love my work. They're advocates of it. They live it in their marriage. They live it in their family. And I just did a video newsletter day before called The Strongest, or it's called Being Able to Walk Away and Mean It. And I should say The Power of Walking Away and Meaning It would be a great one to check out. That was from her husband. And now you're going to hear what his beautiful wife has to say about him as a man and how much he reminds her of her dad. And she was daddy's girl, and unfortunately her father just passed away this past year. So it's a success story from a woman's perspective of what it's like being married to a guy who lives and embodies 3% man. So I got a quote that I wrote, and then we'll go through her email. And the quote says, "What really separates the men from the boys? Men handle things. They say what they mean and mean what they say. They create a vision for themselves and their lives, and then they resolve to make it happen by taking action. Boys talk about what they are going to do and then proceed to make excuses and never really get around to getting their lives handled. This is why most women love older men, because it often takes until men are in their 30s to figure out themselves, their purpose, and their lives. If a woman is going to trust her man to lead and keep her safe, he must be up to the task. He must be a doer and not a talker." And boy, oh boy, is the world full of talkers and people that talk about what they're going to do and never get around it. All those people like, hey, I'm going to go to the gym. Yeah, I'm going to get back into that. I'm really missing it. I'm going to start eating healthy. I'm going to lose 50 pounds. I'm going to quit that shitty job. I'm going to break up with that toxic person that's treating me terribly. And they never do. We all know people like that. And that's how they bond and connect to others, is complaining about their problems and their lives, but they never do anything about it. So let's go through her email. She says, "Hey, Corey, this is an email from my side, a lady and wife of a 3% man. I tell you why I love my 10 years older husband." Now, keep in mind, she's German, so English is not her first language. But it's still a really good email. She says, "I was always daddy's girl. My dad was a rough guy. He was a biker. Born December 1961, he had a military background, was a martial arts guy, and was a complete original. Everything that had to do with fun and entertaining for me was his job. But he never spoiled me. He had his rules to go with, and I knew where the line was. So he set and enforced healthy boundaries with his little girl, who's now obviously all grown up. I looked up to him. He was my hero. My dad was never a big speaker. He was the one who grabbed the problems and got them out of the way." Sounds like he's a very stoic, traditional, masculine man. "He stood up for what he believed in. He was my rock, my island, and always there for me. When he passed away in September 2020, 200 bikers in the military gave him the last honor. It was amazing. My mom was the one who did the schoolwork and gave me the life lessons, and my dad was completely available for the fun part. Even when my parents divorced, they never spoke bad about each other, and everybody was doing his part to make a great person out of me. This proves that being a divorced child is not a bad thing. It can work because both parents need to come from a good working and loving home. Well, your job as parents, whether you're together or not, is to create a great human. It's to co-parent together, not use your children as pawns in your war to hurt each other because of what the other person did or didn't do when you were together. Don't let fucking divorce attorneys fuck your family up. Those guys are grifters, and they're there to milk as much money from you as possible. So it's in their best interest to keep the conflict going, because then they can keep writing letters and keep billing you by the hour and draining your bank account and filling up their bank account. Anything you can do outside of your attorneys and come to an agreement between the two of you is in your best interest, your best financial interest, and the interest of your children. My grandparents on both sides have been together for years. Sometimes things just don't work out, but staying in it for the kids was not my parents' thing. I am so proud that I got great and good education because it is not normal as a divorced child to be that way, and I know that. I think that's awesome. It sounds like your parents are awesome people. Even though they didn't stay together, they co-parented because the mission was a shared mission, which was to make sure you grew up into an amazing woman, which obviously sounds like you have. When I got older and went to school, I was pretty much organized very early. I started my apprenticeship in geriatric care, and by the time I was 18, I was able to stand on my own feet. I love my job, and this year in summer, I finished my classes and will be a qualified specialist in helping and supporting old people with Alzheimer's. I started back in the day with nursing, and now I am helping Alzheimer's patients through their daily life. I am there for them and for their families. I started dating guys when I was 18 and was always on the lookout for a man who was older than me. I wanted a rough guy who was my foundation and my island, just like my dad was. I'm that kind of girl who loves to be in my natural woman side. Obviously, she's talking about her feminine side. But it takes the right guy to turn my switch over. Yeah, it takes a guy that's in his masculine energy, just like her father was, because that's the only way she's going to feel safe and comfortable to let go and let him lead. Because he's proven through his actions that he's up to the task and he can handle it. He can handle her at her best and her worst. I know it's very quick, but doesn't mean that you, as a woman, you can be an asshole and he's got to put up with it continuously. I noticed very quick that younger guys are not having their shit together. Shy, girly, and there are those who only reduce girls for their body parts. But then there was my husband. When I met him back then, he worked at a BMW dealership in a high position in security. He was boxing for 2 years and still is today. From the moment I saw him, I noticed that he was like a rock, the island I was looking for. He did not say a lot, and when we go out, he was always making me have a good time and made me laugh. Love is playful and fun, after all. He never talked about his ex-wife, relationships, or sex. He surprised me when we've been out on trips to German cities. He always has and he's always had something up, and I can never tell what his plans are. Yeah, he's driving the fun bus. He makes the plans and invites her to join him. And even to this day, he's still following what the book teaches. He hasn't gotten lazy. He hasn't gotten complacent, where he just sits at home and orders a pizza and a 2-liter bottle of soda. He's still romancing his girl. The courtship never ends, after all. When we finally got engaged, the purple glasses were gone. We say that in Germany. It means that we knew each other well, and after 90 days, the love was still there. But yes, it was my idea, and I really asked him where this all was going. Just like it says in the book, I'm shocked. He told me after we got engaged about your book, 3% Man, and I was surprised that this was so spot on. Well, as I always like to say, I might not always be right, but I'm never wrong. Even if you think I'm full of shit, if you apply what's in my books, it will make your life better. You'll get better results than you have been getting. He was the first man who stood up for me when I needed him. My former boss wanted to use me for Social Security fraud. He got violent towards me, and I called my husband before because I had a feeling it would go this way. My husband came in at just the right time and stood up for me. He physically defended me successfully against my boss. He was there for me. I knew I could count on him. He doesn't talk, he acts. He stands up for what is important to him. I feel safe with him. Sadly, I lost my mom right after my dad, and again, my husband was there for me. Damn, both in 1 year, that's brutal. He was strong when I was weak. Losing my parents was the hardest thing in my life so far, but it made me and my husband strong together. I'll be honest with you, most men are not like that. Oh boy, do I know. Guys in my age or younger have no set of balls. I would not say that those guys are not available out there, but they are rare. I am so glad that you are able to give your book out through these guys. You're making a difference in many people's lives, and the feedback speaks for itself. Yeah, that's why I was been telling all the haters and some of the women that say that they're marriage and couples therapists. There was one of them on there was arguing with me, telling me that masculinity and femininity is outdated. If you're a competent therapist and you're not going to say something like that. So I can just imagine it sounds like she's teaching the couples that she's trying to help cultural Marxism, commie fucking nonsense, like that's going to help their relationship. It's just going to ruin the sexual polarity and make them not want to touch each other. But I digress. And so my response to all of them is go look at the reviews. There's tens of thousands of them. I mean, there's tons of forums and websites. There's Reddit where people have been applying my books and the things they've learned from me for many, many years, and they got all kinds of great success stories. So if I was full of shit, it would be all over the internet. So she says, thanks for sharing my story, and I hope I could help you and your channel to have a look on what is important for a woman who likes older guys. Well, I like younger women too, so we totally appreciate that. And so thanks for being an awesome wife to your husband, because not only are you changing each other's lives, but everybody who you get to influence and be around, you're having a positive impact on them, and you're providing positive role models so people can look up to you guys, because it is sure needed in today's world. Strong masculinity and strong femininity, the balanced sexual polarity, you got to have those. It doesn't matter if it's a straight relationship, it's a gay relationship, it's a lesbian relationship. Without sexual polarity, you're basically platonic roommates who aren't fucking, and that's no fun. So if you got a question or a challenge and you'd like to get my help, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and book a coaching session with yours truly. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.